What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 40, and we start today's stuff on the back of our dramatic late winner against Nottingham Forest by once again seeing the board have sent me about their 7th performance review meeting scheduled email. At the moment, it's like, I'm just expecting it at this point. Do you know what I mean? I'm just expecting it. It's like, I can't seem to shake it. Do you know what I mean? It's like a big win against Forest in our last game, coming from behind to win. The board is still like, Doxy boy, come on, 9 AM tomorrow morning. I'm like, guys, for goodness sake. Seriously, I've got a job to do. And after the big win against Forest, 2 wins in our last 5 in all competitions. Not a great run of form, but as we're still chasing a Champions League spot, only 2 points behind Manchester United right now, and of course against the Red Devils in the FA Cup semi-final the next week as well, or I should say, well, now as this game comes on Wednesday night against Leicester in 3 days time. I've got a job to do, guys. Listen, I'll deal with you come the end of the season. So first game of this episode on the back of the win against Forest. They're taking on Leicester City. Brendan Rodgers, Foxes coming to Goodison Park, and for the first time in a while we've got back-to-back wins in the Premier League. Yet really tough run of form for Everton heading into this game here against the Foxes. Wednesday night, FA Cup semi-final on the weekend. Had to rotate a few of my players heading into the game, but talk about pulling out the bag. Lord knows we needed it, and for Dwight McNeil's sake, first goal in the Premier League all season long. He's not had a great campaign. There's no wonder why he's a bench boy for me now, but Dwight McNeil comes up with his first Premier League goal and a game winner as well. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, because Lord knows we needed it. So first clean sheet in quite a while for Pickford, and most importantly, back-to-back wins in the league. Means with 5 games to go, back in the top 4. Question is, can we hang on with 5 games remaining? So second game of today's episode now on the weekend, and this was it. One of the biggest games of my career so far. Manchester United FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. Season 1, we got to the FA Cup semi-final and we were beaten by Liverpool. Season 2, we got to Wembley, EFL Cup final against Manchester United, our opponents for this FA Cup semi-final, and we all remember what happened. Took the lead late on, then conceded soon afterwards, and then they scored a final kick of extra time, stoppage time, to win and break our hearts with the final second of football. Was it going to be 3rd time's the charm in Season 3? Well, heading into the game, I'd say 10 minutes in, I was fuming at this point. Manchester United almost went in front there. Great save by Pickford, but how was that not a foul? I've got no idea. Even so, still 0-0, and our first chance fell 41 minutes in a really poor first half. Hudson-Odoi goes for goal, and David De Gea sticks out a boot. He used to save so many shots with his feet back in the day, but he sticks out a boot there, his left-hand side, and diverts it behind for a corner, which is headed onto the crossbar by Lukaku, and Manchester United escape. So good end to the first half after a really poor beginning, but at the break we were still tied at 0-0. I felt as though someone was going to win it in the second half though. I didn't think like the EFL Cup final last year was going to go to extra time. It was just a case of who would get that goal to win a pretty uneventful game. Tyrese Dolan, who was the hero for them in the EFL Cup final last year, went close once again. Pickford makes a good save and keeps it at 0-0. With 20 minutes to go, still deadlocked here. Once again, the Red Devils coming forward. Christian Eriksen rolls through Nicolo Zaniolo, off to Casemiro, and the veteran Brazilian denied by Jordan Pickford. So it's still 0-0. Once again, Pickford with a really crucial save. I thought I was doing okay defensively, to be fair though. No real clear-cut chances for the Red Devils. There were 15 minutes to go, and again, we haven't played very well. We came on the counter from the corner, and Amadou Onana gives Everton the lead with 14 minutes to go. Quick breakaway, Hudson-Odoi rolls it across, and Everton hold on to win at Wembley for the first time in the save, and I am buzzing. Manchester United 0, Everton 1. We avenged our demons of last year. It wasn't a great game. You see the stats here. I think it was reasonably even, but it wasn't a great game. Pickford made a couple of good saves. De Gea made a couple of good saves, but for the most part, it wasn't a great game. But in the end, it was settled by just a 1 goal, just like I thought it would be. And we are through to the FA Cup final for the first time in the save. And who have we got? I mean, come on. Of all the teams we could face, who did you think it was going to be? Liverpool, Merseyside derby, FA Cup final. Of course, it comes before the final two Premier League games, and I've talked about this before, man. I mean, maybe I'm a bit of a traditionalist, maybe I'm a bit of an old head. I am 30 years old now, so I get it, I'm showing my age a little bit, but I can't stand that. Like, I really, really can't. Listen, I talk about this all the time. Like, modern day football to me has never been better in terms of quality, in terms of interactivity with fans and so on. There are a few things which I yearn for, for back in the old days, if you will, when I was growing up. And the one thing for me that I would love to see revert back to is the FA Cup finals, the final game of the season domestically. I can't wrap my head around it. It's the one thing which could, because to me it kind of undervalues the cup. Do you know what I mean? When there's still two more games to go, it's like we talk about it all the time about how the FA Cup is being devalued and not considered as important or as coveted as a trophy as it used to be. That's one of the reasons why. It's not even the final game of the season. It's a final, yet it's not even the final domestic game of the season. To me, it just, no. But even so, it's the third final domestic game for us. And again, I find it so frustrating because it's a cup final. It's our first FA Cup final since 2009 when Everton lost to Chelsea. I think it's 2009. But even so, it's not even a final game of the season. We'll still have two more Premier League games to come. So anyway, forget about that. Let's just move straight on. Once again, you would have seen for our final fixtures coming in May there, I've got to say, some favourable fixtures to end the season off, with no disrespect here. But this would be, in my opinion, the toughest one. Newcastle away at St James's Park on the back of a massive high there, winning at Wembley for the first time in the save, FA Cup semi-final against the Red Devils. Now going away to Eddie Howe's Magpies in the North East. Really tough game against a good Newcastle side who have a very slim chance of making 7th place and a European spot as well. Took the lead for Amadou Onana, who has been so big for me since the injury to Kefa and Thuram. Amadou Onana has come back in the starting 11. He's been superb here, but he opened the scoring. Magpies levelled it. Then they had a goal disallowed for offside, rightfully so. Then a red card for Musa. This was a thriller of a game. We'd only just began the second half. It was 1-1. But then we saw some more bad news. 57 minutes in, directly after the Magpies went down to 10 men, Conor Gallagher hits the deck, gets himself an injury. Newcastle play on. They're well within their rights to do so as we're temporarily down to 10 men, and they take advantage of Gallagher on the floor as well. Drilled in to the back of the net by Bruno Guimaraes. And the Magpies, despite having the man disadvantage, come from behind to lead at St James's. It is 2-1. I was thinking, come on, seriously, this is the Everton way. Just have a massive high, and now we're absolutely blowing it. But 17 minutes to go. Sometimes when you need a bit of luck, you will get it. Onana's shot well saved, but Hudson-Odoi at the back post just about scrambles it in there. I don't think he knew much about it, to be fair. It was a clearance that deflected off him, but even so, bit of a lucky goal, but we'll take it. Final score in the North East. I said this will probably be our toughest game remaining out of the final four, and in the end, we get ourselves a point. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. And don't get me wrong, yes, Newcastle down to 10 men for most of the game, but in all things considered, I'll take it. That's a tough game there. It's never an easy place to go, St James Park. But you would have seen after that as well. Oh my God. Another injury. Conor Gallagher now done for the season as well. So for the rest of the season, we're now missing 3 regular starters plus DCL as well. Patterson, Thuram and Gallagher. 2 CMs down and my right back as well. Thank God I signed Hatterber in the January transfer window. And of course DCL off the bench is also down as well. So 4 players done for the rest of the season. That's a big blow there. Gallagher and Thuram now both missing through the middle of the park, which is so important to us playing the 4-3-3 as well. That's a huge blow there. And after that draw, puts us back outside the top 4. Starting to feel a little bit nervous now. It is so tight, and you know any slip up between now and the end of the season might well be the one that costs you Champions League football. So on the back of the draw there, following game, Bournemouth at home, right down the bottom of the table, only just above the drop zone. This should have been a banker. With 20 minutes to go in a game where I played really poorly, on the back of the high after beating the Red Devils, sent back down to earth, a draw against Newcastle, and now with 20 minutes to go, a goal down to Gary O'Neill's Cherries in a game I played really poorly. This was going to be the game where I thought, Yeah, forget it. We ain't good enough for the Champions League. Stoppage time, down by a goal, won ourselves a corner, one final chance. Captain Pickford comes up for the corner as well. It's floated towards him, but he's the diversion for you-know-who does it once again. How many times has he rescued me this season? We'll add this game to the list of games where Lukaku has come up clutch. Final kick of the game, whipped in by Hudson-Odoi, and Romelu Lukaku heads in from close range as he goes for the golden boot and gives us a point. It is still 2 points drop, no matter how you look at it. I played really, really poorly in this one, but it could have been a lot worse. At least we get something. If only it's a third of the maximum points available, I'll take a point, because it means with 3 games to go in the Premier League, we're into 6th. We're 3 points behind Spurs and Manchester United as well in 5th. 3 games to go. We're not going to catch the top 3 now, but 4th is still up for grabs. 4 teams going for 1 Champions League spot, and we still have that chance. But that will end today's episode of the Realistic Scrimmer, guys. Big fan of watching. If you enjoyed it, if you had a future like, don't miss the next episode. It's part 1 of a part 2 season finale. We've got Crystal Palace midweek, massive Premier League game to get back on track in the league, and we'll have the FA Cup final against Liverpool as well. Thanks for watching, much love, and don't miss part 1 of a 2-part season finale very soon.